What's up, everybody? I am Rick Knight, aka The Bad Philosopher, here to give you my hashtag WalkAway story. So a couple years ago, I decided it was time to leave the Democrats, and I went to the right, where I'm now a libertarian / conservative. I guess you can call me a conservatarian. The reason I left, after doing a lot of reading and a lot of research, watching public debates, public lectures, watching different videos, speaking to a lot of different people on both sides of the aisle, and carefully thinking about the position that I held, I realized that as a Democrat, I really had a very weak platform to stand on. My position was terrible. I couldn't defend it. And as a lover of philosophy, I figured that if I can't defend that position, it is time to give it up and develop a much stronger position. And that's exactly what I did by moving away from the Democrats. I feel that they completely fall short when it comes to the economy, when it comes to political policies, when it comes to social issues. They are the absolute worst. They have been spending the last couple of years constantly calling us Nazis and white supremacists and completely vilifying the cisgendered straight white male patriarch of the country that they think is responsible for all the ills that goes on. At some point, we have to grow up and realize that people are responsible for their own future, for their own actions, for their own life, right? You have to make do with what you have and make it better and better and make it the best you possibly can. But to the left, it's, we're responsible for their downfall while we're getting rich off of their back, and they're here to take it back from us. And I'm just not with that. I've never been someone who's into or who had victimhood status like the left does. They are too busy competing for the gold medal at the Oppression Olympics to realize that all of us in society, all human beings are constantly held in bondage, in our own little prison, trying to break free and find happiness and make a good life for us. But the left don't see it that way. They see it as this privilege that certain people have based on their skin color, and that's why some of them live a very good life. It's racial politics, identity politics that I'm just not with it. I'm just not for it. This is the party who don't know what gender they are. They don't know what bathroom they're supposed to use, and they want to force these new gender rules and laws on us that don't make sense. I mean, they always said that the Republicans was anti-science, and it turns out that the Democrats are actually anti-science. I can no longer defend that position on the left, and it was time to go. And I realized how annoying and obnoxious some of them are, just even in a debate or in a conversation with them. They really don't have a strong understanding of how this world works. They live outside of our reality. And I had to go. They don't respect the men and women of the armed forces, which I have the utmost respect for, being that my father was a Vietnam vet, my grandfather was a World War II vet. They don't respect our law enforcement that puts their lives on the line for them to have the right to live and to find happiness and to be safe and to go out there and protest. I mean, the police are out there protecting the protesters from both sides and trying to keep the peace. And the left, they don't respect that. They don't love this country. They don't love Americans. They don't love Western societies. They want to tear it down and usher in this neo-Marxist, poisonous political orthodoxy of social justice, which is nothing more than Marxism disguised as social justice. And I recognized this, the patterns in this a few years ago, and I saw it coming, and I done my research, I thought about it, and I purposely went out to argue with people I knew who I knew were Republicans, and I knew that they kept up on political issues, and I purposely put myself there to argue with them, to see, what gaps do I have in my knowledge? What gaps do I have in my political ideology? And I realized I had a ton of gaps, and I couldn't fill those gaps up no matter how hard I tried, because the left has no real message. They don't have a real platform to stand on. At this point in the game, they're nothing but spoiled brats that are just trying to get what they want, and if you don't give it to them, then they'll use force to take it. And, it's time to go. Thomas Paine once wrote that government is a necessary evil at best, an intolerable one at worst. And that's exactly what you're seeing with the left. They are the worst. They're intolerable, and I can't. I just can no longer stand on the left with the Democrats. So I am out. I am gone. And you lost another one, Democrats, and it's no big deal because I'm a small fry. And but guess what? You know, a lot of small fries, they add up to be big. And a lot of people are walking away, and that's it. So that's all I got for you tonight. Thank you, everybody, and love you, America.